Good morning, DMV. You are tuned into the Kick Back with me, your host, Diamond B. Frazier. We are back at it again. I don't know what episode this is. I want to say 3, could be 4. I don't know, sue me. But today I have with me this brother. I actually went to his event, Pastor Ox. Shout out to them. And his name is Tenski. So how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show, Diamond.
Thank you
It's good
for
to see you
coming.
again.
Yes, it is. So let's just, because you're pretty new to this, or if you're not, I'm new to you, so I'm going to learn you. Where did that name come from?
Well, my last name's Tenski.
Okay.
And, growing up, people would always, pronounce it wrong, Butensky, Buninski. I heard it all growing up. So I decided to drop the BU and then flip the Y to an I just for easier pronunciation. And it's about all there is to it. Nothing too complicated.
All right, so let's talk about growing up in New York, because you're not actually from here. You're from New York, and you came here off of the strength of going to college.
Right.
So what was it like growing up in New York?
Well, to be specific, I grew up in the Long Island area, mostly suburbs, nothing really terribly interesting about it. Just went to school, did my thing. It was around high school time that I started to get more into rap and hip hop. Growing up, I was raised more on classic rock and things like that. So I discovered it on my own, and the interest just kept growing from there.
So being in the car with your parents, were you changing the station and listening to rap music, or you were just classic rock, and then on your own zone you was listening to hip hop?
Well, classic rock was more, when I was younger in like elementary, middle school type of age. By the time I got to high school, I had my own car, so I had the liberty to play what music I wanted in my own, and they were allowed to have their own space,
What attracted you to rapping? Like, why do that?
You mean rap music or me rapping myself?
You rapping yourself.
Well, why does any white kid get interested in hip hop? You hear
know.
Eminem for the first time and you're like, hey, this guy's pretty good. But then I sort of, you use Eminem as a leaping off point to, discover more artists and, get more into rap heavily. And as I got more and more interested in it, I thought that, it would be interesting to write my own rhymes. So, I sort of got into that. I've been writing for at least a year or two before I even recorded. I stepped foot in a booth because, first impressions are very important to me. And, your first rhyme's never your best. So I wanted to practice my pen. I'd be practicing my delivery like in the mirror, in my room, whenever I had free time to write something down. And basically that just kept me going through college when I attended American University in D.C. And it was in that environment that I had the opportunity to find more creatives, being able to work with other rappers, singers, producers, and whatnot.
So what was your major in college? Because I'm still trying to figure out, like, how you went this rapping route.
Right.
That's what I'm just, like, I hear what you're saying,
That's
but I'm
fair.
just really trying to get there. So what was your major in college?
Well, I was a political science major because, being in D.C., politics, very generic, but, it makes sense. But, I'm able to keep my schoolwork. Well, I graduated in 2015. And once I graduated, I had more time to, dedicate to the music and focus on that because it's a tough balancing act trying to juggle your school responsibilities and what you want to do in your spare time.
Okay, so since you were a political science major, how do you feel about the politics that's going on today? Did you vote? Let's start off with that.
Yes, I did vote. I filled out my absentee ballot because I'm still registered in New York, where it doesn't really matter who I vote for because, we know who's going to win that state. Hillary.
New York?
Yes.
Really? Oh, okay. But
New York's a very democratic area, at least when it comes to
I was gonna say
the presidential stuff. When you break it down county by county and in the districts, there are definitely, a lot of Republican politicians. But
do you feel like a lot of white people are getting backlash or a lot of hate because of Trump being in office right now?
The only white people who are getting backlash are probably, the ones who deserve it, the ones who either voted for Trump or the ones who, still actively support his policies and are very vocal against, black people and other POC and things like that. White people as a whole, I don't see it personally.
Okay, so you never really experienced some cruelty from my brothers and sisters?
No, that would be pretty silly.
Really? What part of DC did you live in? Or do you live in DC currently?
I still live in DC.
Okay.
I'm in the Northwest area. Since I went to American, I'm still in the area of Tenleytown. So I live there live in a house with a few other people.
Okay.
One of them is a producer that I've worked with before. His name's Ego Def, and we had made music in the past in like 2014, 2015. But
yeah, so you tweeted, you said, "Don't stress over temporary rappers."
That's correct.
Where did that stem from?
I see people, I feel like a lot of people spend their time hating on, the new school of rappers, saying you don't exemplify hip hop, you're not this, that, and the third. And at the end of the day, you got to realize that you're wasting a lot of energy on rappers who have shelf lives of maybe 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And, there's a lot more important things to focus on in the world than why is this person making money? Why does this person have the spotlight? I mean, in a few years, they're going to be left in the dust. And, the other problems that you may have in your life are still going to be there. So,
do you see longevity for your rap career?
Of course. I plan on rapping as long as I want to.
Okay. So what's going to make you be out there for years and still be known like Tenski, the household name, and not these shelf rappers?
What's going to make me a household name, did you say?
Yeah. What's going to hold you out there that long? Like, why are you different than the new school? Or are you the same as them?
Well, it depends who you define as the new school. I don't like to pigeonhole everyone in the same category. But as far as me personally, I just feel like, I focus on my craft. I try to make lasting music that you can play and discover, 5 years from now, and it'll still sound fresh. Yeah. I'm not trying to make music of the moment. A lot of people will see one rapper find success one way, and they'll all think, oh, I gotta do it this way too. They're making money, and if I do what they're doing, then I'll make money also. But it's not a sustainable way because, waves change, trends go back and forth, and, you can only ride waves for so long.
So if you could get signed right now, what label would you be signed to?
Probably none, to be honest.
So you think you can make it as an independent artist?
Yes.
Wow.
I think labels are pretty archaic. I would definitely consider signing like a distribution deal maybe or something like that in order to get my music out to more people. But as far as a whole label, all that 360 deal nonsense,
no,
it's not really
for you.
Not really on my radar.
Does your family listen to your music?
Yes, they do.
And what do they say about it?
They enjoy it. They were surprised that I could create these full fleshed out songs with all these intricate lyrics and things like that. They always knew that I had an interest in rap music and things like that. But when I dropped my recent EP, Rehearsal, that was their introduction to my music.
Okay. And you are a Kendrick fan. You are a Kendrick Lamar fan.
That is correct.
Okay, so if you had to, this was a life or death situation.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I need you to rap at least the first verse to one Kendrick song, verbatim. Say.
All right. Well, I'll have to bleep myself out for the N-word.
Go ahead. But, I'm glad you know.
Trying to think of which one. There's so many good ones.
And you know all of them.
I know a good amount. Section 80 was my introduction into Kendrick.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I got to make sure you're a real Kendrick fan, man.
Sure. Back in this bitch, in the back of that bitch with my back against the wall and your bitch on the edge of my dick. Jump off. I call a bitch, a hoe, a woman, a woman. I never did nothing but break the ground on top of the asphalt. Tire marks gave you evidence that I'm easily pedaling with the speed of a lightning bolt. As a kid, I killed 2 adults. I'm too advanced. I live my life, the wiser man. Truth be told, I'm like 87, wicked as 80 reverends in a pool of fire with devils holding hands. From a distance, don't know which one is a Christian damn. Who can I trust in 2012? That's no one, not even myself. A Gemini screaming for help, somebody. Holla!
Yes! Yeah. Okay, Kendrick fan.
I messed up a little bit on that part. But,
you good.
The essence was there.
Because a lot of people mumble over it, and I will say I do that when the song comes on, because I'll be knowing all the lyrics. But that's what's up. Can you freestyle?
Not too off the top of my head, honestly. Not too well. Not enough to, fully showcase good. My talents. It's something that I'm definitely still practicing and trying to hone that skill.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. So what drew you to Kendrick Lamar? What is it about him that you like?
I think, I don't know, he has definitely an interesting way of delivering his verses. It's not exactly the conventional method in which, you'll hear a lot of rappers, even from, his time from 5 years ago that were just coming out, sort of delivering that. He can change flows like on a dime.
Yes.
And his voice is pretty animated. You might get some alien voice Kendrick. You might get some deep voice. You might get some paranoid schizophrenic, that kind of thing. I don't know how to describe that, but it's entertaining to listen to, and the lyrics are there, and the flow is on point. And on Section 80, I just love the production on that. I like how we kept it in-house, with Soundwave, Tape Beast, all them.
So we're about to listen to your song Overseas. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, this is the first listen, actually, of Overseas. This will be a song that will be featured on the Pass the Aux Volume 1 mixtape. It's a collection of exclusive and previously released songs from artists who have performed in Season 1 of Pass the Aux. And basically, I guess the theme of Overseas is that, I'm in this position where rap is taking me to so many different places that I would have never thought possible a few years ago, and how I'm looking to go overseas as my next destination. Do shows in Europe, Asia, Africa, not Antarctica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
South America, too. Let's cover all the continents.
I hear that.
And Australia.
My heart gets a racing when I hit the station. Keep pace with my mind, finish line is my haven. Running circles around them, going for gold, clearing hurdles to reach that outcome. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. People pining for the 90s, but they're gone.
We are back. You're still with us at the Kick Back. So, yes, I did things a little bit different today, but of course, I cannot forget we got to do with it or quit it. So I'm going to give Tenski a couple questions, statements. You just need to tell me and the people, are you with it? That means you agree, or quit it like I don't, but then you have to tell why.
Sounds pretty simple.
So be prepared for whatever is about to come out of my mouth.
You got it.
All right. First one. White Americans are more likely to sell drugs. Blacks are more likely to get arrested. Now, why is that? That's because we created the system. We know how superior the black man is, and to get rid of them, we frame them. With it or quit it?
I mean, I'm definitely with it in the sense that obviously, black people get incarcerated at higher rates for petty crimes than white people do. Mm-hmm. And, it's not just black men, but it's also black women who are getting arrested for crimes as well. So that's the only addendum, I guess, I would add to that. But besides that, with it.
You with it? Okay. All right. That was Tenski. He said he with it, y'all.
Yes.
All right. Eminem is the best white rapper ever. I know there's others out there, but no one can surpass this man. And it's not just his rapping abilities, but his character, too. That's what makes him great.
Oh, boy. The white rapper with the Eminem question. That's a cool one. I'm going to quit it, actually.
Okay.
I mean...
You don't feel like he's the best?
Not with this material he's putting out. It's just he's not keeping up with his legacy of the past stuff. I feel even his old material hasn't exactly, personally, maybe for other people it has, but it hasn't aged very well for me. Mm-hmm. I can't really listen to much of his old stuff anymore. There are definitely other white rappers who I feel make more consistent, listenable music, who don't talk about sexually assaulting women who were popular 12 years ago, like Lorena Bobbitt references. This man's in a time capsule. But
so who would you say are the best white rappers?
another good question. I'd say Brother Ali. He's a pretty good white rapper. Mac Miller, definitely one of the better white rappers coming out nowadays. I don't listen to too many white rappers, to be honest. Not sure if that makes me like a self-hating like white rapper.
No, it's just okay. Can you see it? So you feel like there's not much competition in terms of white rappers out there for you?
I don't see it as competition. I see it more as a sort of a label that has to be overcome. Because the thing with white rappers is that at first it's pretty difficult to, break into rap because you have to try like extra hard. Well, you don't have to try extra hard, but you have to like
prove yourself.
Yeah, you have to prove yourself because people are already going to look at you like, what's going on here? What's the situation? But then once you do break in, it's super easy for white rappers to, make money, cash in on that white privilege, get all the endorsements and stuff like that.
That's true facts. All right, so this next one, I work in retail and I noticed that, and don't be offended, this is all black and white, but it's not my fault. Hey, I just read it. Anyway, I work in retail and I noticed that black people, well, some of them are extremely respectful people. I want to say that's how they were raised, but when I think about it, I feel that's how they were built. They just respect everything. You with it? Or quit it. Why are you shaking your head over there? You not with that?
This is my associate, Young Sweet James.
Well, he's not here, so we're not going to even listen to his friend. Let's get to you. Let's get to Tenski. How you feel about that?
Well, personally, I've never worked in retail, so
why? Everybody has to work in retail at least one time in their life.
Well, I still have a long life to live, so maybe I'll work retail in the future. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't consider black people a monolith exactly. There are disrespectful and respectful people of all races, sexes, genders, what have you.
So I don't mean to cut you off. Okay, so
it's not like I feel like I can't like give a yes or no kind of answer to that.
But from what you experienced.
From what I've experienced?
Well, coming in contact, it's been like 50-50, 80-20.
I don't tend to keep a tally in my head exactly of, this is a good one, this is a bad one.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I've, been around plenty of black people and, they've all treated me with the same respect that I give them. Okay. And even when I'm at these rap events and stuff like that, it's never a fixation on skin color, you know. We're just there to, showcase our music. And if you're dope, you're dope. If you're not, then quit it.
That's really good that's what you've experienced in your life, because that's far-fetched than what I've experienced and continue to experience. So it's a little bit different hearing somebody that they haven't seen a certain thing, they haven't experienced it. It's like it's not relatable. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. I don't expect to relate to all of your experiences, but I can understand.
As long as you understand and you get it, that's what I'm for. So, do Americans really believe that North Korea is capable of a nuclear attack on the U.S.? Seriously, these people have been testing missiles after missiles and have failed miserably every time. Can we just push them to the side and worry about more important things like not having free health care for the country that claims to be the number one in everything? You with that or no?
I'd say quit it, because I think America is capable of focusing on more than one thing at a time. I can't speak for the current administration, but us as a nation. As far as North Korea, of course they've failed miserably each time. That's nothing to deny. But down the road, this year, a year from now, 5 years, it's very possible they could achieve something closer to a nuclear missile that would be targeted at the U.S. So I definitely think we should keep our eye on them. I don't think full military action is necessary yet, but just let them know, like, I got my eye on you. Like, watch out, Kim.
So before I go to this next question, what is going to make you relatable to the people? Because you have to be. Because that's why people connect to people's music and stuff like that. Like, what is Tenski's story?
Well, I feel like my story is just, my come up as a rapper in the DMV scene, and all the obstacles that come with it, having to navigate through all the pay-to-play nonsense, the lack of a structure and a foundation here, the ego driven nature of some of the artists in the area, things like that. I think every person who's like up and coming can sort of relate to that. And of course, my music also peppers in personal details about my life, my struggles with religion, I guess, having, some depressing thoughts and times in my life. I think people can listen to that and they can appreciate it. And if they can relate to it, that's great. But if they can't, at least know that it's from the heart.
Elaborate on your struggle with religion. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I was raised Jewish, but, growing up sometimes you start to clash with your faith. You start to question the existence of God. You start to question, the basis of your religion, things like that as you grow up. Because when you're younger, you can't really...
You just go by what you're told.
You just go and you just take the information and you're like, okay, this is fine. But, once you grow up, you start to think back and you're like, why is this the way it is? Or why is that not, yada, yada, yada. So it's just those internal thoughts that I have from time to time. And I talk about it on, nothing on the EP that came out, but on this new music I'm working on. It will definitely touch on subjects like those.
So now, like years later, like you're older, are you more defined in your religion now, or is still a daily battle?
It's definitely not a daily routine. I celebrate some of the high holidays, but even after my bar mitzvah, I didn't go to Hebrew school again after that. I didn't go to temple on a weekly basis. I think religion is something that's good to sort of keep family together. You're going to events, Passover, Hanukkah, things like that. Okay. But as far as getting in there and praying and saying all the prayers and stuff like that, it's not something I do on a weekly basis.
Okay, sounds good. We learned about you.
Yes.
All right, so
Exciting.
This last one right here. White rappers that rap black will, with the hand movements and lyrics, annoy me. Just be a rap nerd that you are and just keep it real. Just sit down. That was all over the place. How do you feel about that?
Is that a personal quote? I thought you were attacking me first.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I don't come up with this stuff.
That's fine.
I'm just the voice of the people.
Got it. Well, I guess can you define the hand movements? I've never heard that, but I've heard rap in black, but, is it like we move the hands like this?
You Millie Rock on them a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me?
I like the rhythm for the Millie Rock, so you won't ever have to worry about that.
Oh, gosh. Okay,
but in general, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Go ahead. This all you, man. This all you.
I mean, definitely, you got your Iggy Azaleas who will rap black, and then when you hear him talk, she sounds like, she's got the Australian accent, and you're just like, these are two different people. What's going on? I think people should definitely try to rap authentically as possible, to themselves. If some people take it the wrong way and think, oh, you're trying to, imitate black people, like, I wouldn't personally get offended because I would understand where they're coming from. Hip-hop's a black genre, and you should always be wary of outsiders trying to come in and sort of cash out on that.
Of course.
But, I mean, as far as, I'd say overall, I'm with it, just stay, like, authentic to yourself. Don't try to mimic and, like, be something you're not. Don't try to be what you've seen on the music videos and think, oh, I can replicate that. I'm not sure about the rap nerd part, maybe you're not a nerd. I am personally, but maybe you're not, and you can rap as you will. But
okay, are we gonna have any music videos from you?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't recorded anything yet, but I'm definitely I'm working on some ideas. Laying out the foundation for some music videos. I'm looking to drop one for Callback off of my rehearsal EP. Date undetermined on when that will come out, but hopefully I can get it out, late spring, early summer type feel. Give it a good energy.
So are we going to be expecting Past Dogs 3?
Well, right now we're still on Past Dogs 2.
I'm talking about the event.
Oh, the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're putting up the final touches. I don't want to give any specific dates or anything because if this airs and it doesn't work out, then then I look stupid. but we definitely have some exciting acts coming for the next show and the one after it. So definitely tune in. And if you follow us at Pasta Aux, PASSDAAUX on Twitter and Instagram, you'll be the first to find out.
I hear that. So where can we follow you and find you? Because you're not much of a tweeter.
That's correct.
Why? Before you even tell me where to find you, why are you not much of a tweeter?
Well, I had another Twitter account before, but, I'm all about starting fresh, clean slate. So this is sort of more of a new one.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get more active on Twitter and Instagram again, give the people the content that they want. But as far as where you can find me at Tenski Music. That's TENSKI Music, spelled regularly, on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on my SoundCloud.
Okay, sounds good. You got anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
I just want to thank you again for letting me on the show. Thank you for doing the interviews for our last Past the Aux show. Those are going up soon. We're in the final editing stages, so they should definitely be coming up in the next day or so, most likely. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and be on the lookout for new music by me.
That was Tenski. I'm Diamond B. Frazier. You're tuned to Kick Back. See you next week.